So today again we'll continue the topic, that is complex tissues. Now we were studying about complex tissues. So I told you that complex tissues are divided into xylem and phloem. So we have already discussed about xylem, that xylem is the complex tissue which is made up of 4 types of cells, that is tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. In the similar way, the phloem is also a type of complex tissue which is made up of 4 types of cells, that is seed tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. So the complex tissue phloem is divided into 4 types, that is seed tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. Now one by one we will study what are the functions of these cells. Now before that we will see the structure of phloem, that is how it looks. So this is how, if you see minutely the structure, it would look like this, that is phloem. Okay, now these are the seed tubes. These are the seed tube members, we can say, or seed tube. Seed tube. This is the seed plate. Seed plate. These are the pores, or we can say the pits, present in the seed plates. Now these are the companion cells. Companion cells. In the companion cells we are having nucleus, cytoplasm, etc. These are plasmodesmata. And after this we may having the phloem parenchyma, which is the outer part of the phloem. So if you see the structure of phloem, it would look like something like this, that see, so this whole is the seed tube member. So what are the seed tube members? Seed tube members are the seed tube, seed plate and the pores present in the seed plate. And then this side is the companion cells, and after the companion cells are present the phloem parenchyma. Now one by one we'll see what are these functions. Now first is seed tube. Seed tubes are present in the phloem, and seed tubes are having the perforated plates, okay, and these perforated plates are having pores, and through these pores only, when the food is loaded in the seed tube, through these pores only the food passes on, either in this direction or in the upward direction. So the transfer of food through the seed tube is upward as well as downward. So we can say that transfer of food in phloem is bidirectional. Now seed tubes are living cells. Seed tubes are living cells. Now seed tubes at maturity, they lose their nucleus, cytoplasm, ribosomes, everything. So we have studied that when a cell loses its cytoplasm, nucleus, etc. or cell organelles, we tell that that cell is dead. But since seed tube is not having the nucleus, even though we are saying that seed tube is the living cells, Why sieve tube or sieve members are the living cells? Why? Because they are just connected through the companion cells, as you can see here. Now, how they are connected with the companion cells? They are connected with the help of plasmodesmata. Now, since companion cells are having their cytoplasm, their nucleus, everything, so whenever the sieve tube transfers the food, so it needs energy, and all the things, all the activities which the sieve tube does is regulated by the companion cells, which makes the sieve tube alive. That's why sieve tubes are considered as living cells, although they are not having their nucleus or cytoplasm. So the main function of the sieve tube members can be considered as the conductive tissue in the phloem. As in xylem we have studied what are the conductive tissues. In xylem, trachees and vessels are the conductive tissues which conducts water and minerals upward to the plants from the roots to the shoots. In the similar way, sieve tube and companion cells are considered as the conductive tissues. Are considered as the conductive tissues. Why? Because they are helpful in the transportation of food either upward or the downward. Now when the food enters here, then through the after the tube enters into the tube, then through the tube there are pores in the sieve plate, and through the sieve plate only, the pores of the sieve plate, the food passes on either in downward direction or in the upward direction. So this was the function of sieve tube and companion cell. What is the function of companion cell? That companion cell help or regulates the activity of the sieve tube members. Means they are essential for the conduction of food in the plant. So companion cells also assist them or help them. Now the third is phloem parenchyma. Now third is phloem parenchyma. We all know that parenchyma are the living cells. Sieve tube, companion cells and parenchyma, phloem parenchyma, these are the living cells, and phloem fiber is the dead cell. Now phloem parenchyma is the living cell, as we have studied in xylem, that xylem parenchyma, what is the function of xylem parenchyma? Xylem parenchyma is helpful for the storage of food. In the similar way, phloem parenchyma, which are present this side, they also contain nucleus, and they are helpful in the storage of materials in the form of sucrose, etc. And also they store raisins which are present in the plant, etc. So they are helpful in the storage of food and other materials. Now the last is phloem fibers. Now I said phloem fibers are dead because at maturity they become dead. So just similar in the similar way as in xylem fibers provided mechanical support to the xylem, in the similar way phloem fibers provide mechanical support to the phloem or the plant. So this was all about the phloem. Means they are having the 4 types of cells, and each cell is having a particular function. That's why it is known as the phloem is a complex tissue. Now we have seen the first tissue, that is the plant tissue. Now through the flow chart we will see what were its types. So complex tissue was categorized into plant tissue and animal tissue. Animal tissue. Now plant tissue was again categorized into meristematic tissue, and permanent tissue. Now meristematic tissue was again divided into apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. We all know what are the functions of the apical meristem, intercalary and lateral meristem. Now next, it was plant tissue was divided into permanent tissue. Then again permanent tissue was divided into 2 types, that is simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue was categorized into parenchyma, which were the living cells, collenchyma, which were also the living cells, and then sclerenchyma, which were the dead cells, And we have seen how the structures look through the help of TS of section drawn on the board. Now complex permanent tissue is divided into xylem and phloem. So xylem and phloem are the conductive tissue, complex tissue. Why? Because they are having 4 different types of cells. Xylem is helpful in the conduction of water and minerals to the plant in upward direction, that is unidirectional, and phloem is helpful in the conduction of food in all parts of the plant, that is bidirectional. So this was all about the complex tissues.